I wanted to come on and talk about how to take your power back. And so there's been a lot of talk of power in my containers at this time in the fierce feminine, as well as in selfless to sovereign, and what it means to take our power back. And there's two different types of power. There's power that comes from the ego, right? And I always think of the ego, even though it's not really up here, but up here, very much in the head, disconnected to the body, disconnected to the earth, more of an energy where it's like, I'm going to take power over. And we're seeing a ton of that on the planet right now, where it's like, you know, just the destruction that's happening with the earth. That's power over, right? I'm going to take power over the earth, power over people, control over people. That's the paradigm that we've been living in for a really long time. And we're shifting out of that, thankfully. But what that asks of each and every one of us is that we take our power back. And so, we have the power that's associated with the ego, power over, take control. It's usually a hierarchical power. It is for the good of a certain group of people. And then there's power that's aligned with the soul, right? And that's coming much more from that empowered place of, I feel empowered in who I am. I am sovereign in who I am. I am rooted and grounded in my truth, and I can speak from that place. And so when I think of power that is in alignment with the soul, it's not to take over people. It's not to control anything like that. It's to stand sovereign in your own truth. And it always comes, when I feel into it, it's coming from the soles of the feet, from that really rooted, anchored place of the earth, right? She empowers us. She allows us to stand. I'm reading this beautiful book about trees, and they stand empowered, rooted and grounded, sovereign. And that's what the earth brings to us. It's what she anchors us into, where we can just stand rooted, empowered in who we are. And when it's coming from that soul alignment, from the soul space, it's not the hierarchical, the triangle or whatever. It's more like the circle. I'm here as a collective. I'm here to add and speak my truth, for the greater good of all. But it all starts with what each one of us, what empowerment feels like in that space. And so, the quickest way to move from a very disempowered space to a very empowered space is to recognize where there's choice, right? Oftentimes we're just going through the motions on this planet, just doing what everybody else is doing, just going through the hamster wheel, not getting off. I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to, all the different things that are part of these systems that we live in, that are part of the foundation of the earth, not the earth as in Gaia, but the foundation of just the humanity that we thrive in, that we live in, right? And so oftentimes we're just doing what everybody else says we should be doing. There's a lot of, I should do this, I should do that. And we're seeing that hugely on the planet. And the more that people don't recognize that they're in choice, the more they're just going along with it. And it's feeding into that. And all of a sudden, that's the new norm, right? Our freedom is taken away. Our free will is taken away. Our choice is taken away. And so, the micro, the macro, the in, the out, it's all connected. And so when you start to move into your own personal empowerment of, where is it that my power is taken away from me? We have energy leaks and all that kind of stuff. As women, we're deeply rooted and connected to the earth. We come here, in my experience, it's like warriors of the earth, right? And not warriors as in fighting, but it's coming from that very heart-led space of the feminine returning, right? She's coming out from underneath the covers. She's standing in who she is. I don't know if it's fully safe for you to stand in who you are, but it's brave and it's freaking courageous. And that's, that's what the world is asking of us at this time, is to stand up and speak our truth so that we can stand as sovereign beings. So we can shift the paradigm and kind of out of this matrix that we're in at this time. Okay, so moving from disempowered to empowered, right? We're vessels. We are vessels. Our bodies are vessels. And we are deeply connected to the heavens above. We're receiving information all the time when we're connected to our truth. And we're always receiving the information, but when there's a whole shit ton of noise out there, we're not hearing it. And so, you know, the whole world, there's a lot of systems at this time that are designed to feed you bullshit, noise, clutter, our phones. They're all designed to take you away from your truth, right? And so those boundaries come in so that you can hear and receive what is truth, what is coming from the heavens, and also what is coming from the earth, right? It's like we receive from the earth, we receive from the heavens. We're like a light body that is vertical, heavens and earth, just going up and down, right? And then what happens is we get all these energy leaks. The news, energy leaks, social media, energy leak, triggers, energy leak, all that kind of stuff. And then it's like, we're just overwhelmed, confused, exhausted. Like, who the frick am I? Right? We're not, that is taking up so much space and keeping us separate from the truth that is always within. And so to move from disempowered into empowered is like, okay, what takes away my power? What is an energy leak at this time? And then you can move into choice when you recognize, okay, I'm in choice here. I can allow this person, this experience, all that kind of shit to take from me, or I can sever the energy leak, like I can close the spout. And that's the power of choice. I'm in choice here, right? Right now there is a choice. There's choices on the planet. But we get caught up in this, well, I just have to do it. This is for, the greater good. This is what will get us back to freedom. That's not freedom, right? And so recognizing where there's a choice in your own inner world with the people that are around you, your experiences, all that beautiful stuff, and then where are you in choice in the outer world? How can you take your power back? And as soon as you recognize there's a choice, you've taken some of your power back, right? And sometimes the choice is, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. There's always our natural default choice. And oftentimes when we're just moving through the patterns, we don't recognize where the choice is, okay? But as soon as you recognize there's a choice, there's like, okay, I could do this or I could do this. One is what I always do. Another is outside of my chosen patterns, my default systems, right? And as soon as you choose something, you've gained your power back. If you choose something that's outside of your norm, you've gained your power back. If you choose your norm, you've still gained your power back because you recognize where there's a choice. And so, I know for myself, I've been, grieving and going through suffering, not recently, but in times past. And it's gone on for days. And then I'm like, holy shit, like you are keeping yourself in this suffering. Is this where you want to be? And the answer was yes. And so I chose to stay in that suffering, for a couple more days or whatever it might have been. But there was power in that choice and recognizing I don't have to stay here. I can leave this space. I can move into something that's more empowering, or I can stay, but there is a choice, okay? And so recognizing there's a choice and connecting to what is the choice, what is the decision that is more in alignment, that is in alignment with my soul? What is in alignment with my ego, with my survival? The ego is not bad. We need the ego to thrive on this planet. But oftentimes when we're just going through the motions, no recognition of there's a choice here, we're just doing our survival instinct, right? What our ego wants us to do so that it feels safe, but oftentimes it's not the safe decision, right? We're just going through the defaults, and that's recreating the life that you're already living, right? You're just staying in that hamster wheel. And I know as humans, we're meant for evolution. We're meant for expansion. We're not meant to stay the same. Like, holy shit, we're always changing. And so we need to make a different choice to move into that evolution, into that expansion. And that's where our soul is always calling us, right? Our soul, it's calling us to thrive, to expand, to push the limits, to really move into what it is that we came here to do. We all came here with a mission, with a purpose. The soul is the guide to that, right? And it's clearing out the shit, clearing out the noise. So that's one way to regain the power, to take your power back, is I have a choice here. I have a choice. It doesn't matter what I choose, but I have a choice, and that's empowering, right? As opposed to I'm stuck, I don't have a choice, I'm a victim. This is happening, this is like power over me, right? That never feels good. When it feels like there's power and control over, it's like, no, I'm going to take back the choice here. I'm going to take back the power. I'm going to take control of myself, responsibility for myself. I'm going to be sovereign over myself. I'm going to make the decision that is most in line with who I am. Okay. And another huge way to shift from disempowered to empowered is to just recognize where it's, I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't. I would, say that probably 99% of those times you could, you really could, you can. And so how you take your power back is I won't do that. Right. I had an experience, I don't know, maybe a couple days ago where somebody wanted me to invest some money into something. And, right away I was going to be like, I can't do that. But I was like, I really could. So I took my power back and I was like, I'm not willing to do that at this time. Right. Because I'm in choice. I could if I really wanted to, but I don't want to. And so I won't at this time. So recognizing where it's like, I can't, because that's not empowering, because that's power over, I can't do this, I can't do that. This is, in response to something being in control over me. I can't afford this, I can't afford that. Oftentimes you can, it's just, I won't invest in this at this time. I won't say yes to this at this time. You've taken your power back, right? I can't feels defeating. I won't is like, I'm standing in this shit. I'm not going to do that. And so recognizing in your life where you can take your power back through those experiences and stand in your sovereign self, right? That is what I do with women. That is the journey with women. And with men. And I just want to call that forward because there's this little niggle that maybe there needs to be something creative for the men out there at this time because we need them, right? It's not a women against men experience on this planet at this time. It's very much an unhealed masculine against the divine feminine at this time in some ways, right? They're taking power over the planet or continuing to take power over the planet, whereas the divine feminine is like, I speak for her, I speak for the earth, I'm protecting her. And, that's showing up in so many different ways, this race to Mars, this, moving humanity to a different planet, all that kind of stuff. It's like, why don't we just take care of the one that we're on, right? Why don't we tend to her? She's not broken. And so, yeah, so that's where we're seeing that unhealed masculine and the healed. We're never fully healed. It's a constant journey. It's not one and done by any means. But the unhealed masculine and the feminine, I want to be really clear that unhealed masculine is living within a lot of women. And I've been there many times, and I go back to that place sometimes as well, right? And so it's not women against men. And so anyways, there's this call for, it's like, men, we need you to do the work as well. And a lot of men are doing the work. And so anyway, but really the work that I do with the women is calling them, guiding them into the sovereign self, where there's choice, where there's like, I'm taking my power back here. I'm saying a hell yes. I'm saying a hell no. This is what serves me, because when you're serving yourself first, you're serving the greater good, right? It's like, the mother archetype can be, whether you're a physical mother or not, it doesn't matter. That's the, birthing a child isn't associated with the mother archetype. It can be, but the mother archetype is like creating. She's birthing books, dreams, visions, all that kind of stuff. It can be a physical baby, but it can also not be. But what the mother archetype has been conditioned to do, up until now is give, 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 give. Well, that leads to exhaustion, depletion, burnout, all that kind of stuff, and I have a physical child, but she's older. And so she's left the nest. But I see myself doing it with my work. It's just pouring myself into my work, my work. And I'm like, well, now I'm exhausted and overwhelmed. And it's all those energy spouts, right? Like, who the fuck am I? right? And so it's like coming back to the sovereign self, and we can give, right? We serve the goddess, we serve humanity through that, through our, our medicine, however that looks like for you, your healing medicine, but you give to the self first. You serve the self first, and that's where we move into that sovereign space where it's like, I can hear myself, I can receive what my soul, what the guidance is that I'm receiving at this time. I can hear it because there's not all these energy leaks of disempowered, shit sucking from us, taking our energy vampires, right? And so that's where boundaries come in. And they're huge, right? Where it's like, no, like I am a hell no to this because I'm containing my energy. I'm keeping, I'm nourishing myself. I'm sinking into myself. And that really feels like that rooted, grounded place coming from the earth, standing sovereign like trees, right? Like anchored, grounded. This is who I am. This is my truth. This is what I stand for. This is my voice. And that is hugely brave and courageous at this time. But the world needs the women to stand up and speak their truth, right? Otherwise, it's continually this control over, power over, do this, do that. What we're seeing, your medicine out there, speaking your words, your voice, what it is that is in alignment with your soul, is hugely brave and courageous and so, so necessary at this time, right? And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. And so just thinking in, how can I take my power back? Where am I giving away my power, right? Yes, people are taking it from us, but we're willingly giving it away as well. And when we recognize that choice, I don't know why a post just dropped into my mind that I wrote quite some time ago, but I was always giving my power away. Just here, take it. I don't have it, so somebody frickin' take it, right? So even though people are taking it away from us, we're allowing them to take it. And, and that's the constant work to bring back the power, to take our power back, to move into that sovereign self and stand rooted and grounded. And this is who the fuck I am. And this is what I stand for. This is my truth. Yeah. So yeah, sinking in, how can I take my power back, stand in that empowerment, and which is so powerful because when women gather, right, magic happens. And there's some coaching that takes place on those calls, but really hearing and receiving and taking into sisterhood and connecting and healing that sisterhood wound is so, so powerful. And also us taking our power back and being like, this is what we stand for. We're rising together. We're not separate. We belong, right? We belong to the earth, to each other. We're here it's that circle, right? Coming back to space. So yeah, course is open. Selfless to Sovereign is open. I would love to have you join us. We gather for those 2 sessions each month. And then as well, I've got some epic guest teachers on board. Human design is next month, and then a breath healing session for the equinox in September. And then they just keep going, healing the witch wound, all this powerful, and men. There's going to be some men speaking as well, bringing in that sacred masculine element. Yeah, so I'm super, super excited. Post the link with this video. The doors are open, I believe, till Monday. Would love to have you in there, and it's super valuable, super affordable, and just a beautiful, beautiful container. So sending you love.